So I know that you've done a little bit of introduction for your 5/7 chords. Can anyone remind me in general what type of 7th chords you have?
Major, minor.
That's the big one. All right. What else?
Minor, major.
Somebody raised their hand. All right, go ahead.
Minor, major.
I don't think so.
Major.
There you go.
It exists.
What else, sir?
Half diminished.
Fully diminished.
Attaboy. Very good. So the topic of our discussion today is really going to be about this major minor 7. Good. If you were to categorize this in terms of what type of triad you had and what type of 7th, what would you have in your major minor?
A major triad.
Major triad and good. I wasn't sure exactly what you guys would already have done, so I'm glad we covered that. Can anyone tell me another name for a major minor 7th chord? Yes. What's the other figure you might see for if you're doing an analyzation? Good. And at this point, you should know that no matter which term we use, these are all the same thing. Whether I say dominant 7, 5/7, or major minor 7, you should be thinking of the same thing. So instead of 3 different terms to talk about one thing, we can use solfege. We can use solfege as a uniting factor between all of them. So can anyone tell me what the solfege content for 5/7 would be? You would start on sol.
T.
Re.
Fa. Good. Now, what about in a minor key? You had a dominant 7 and a minor key. What solfege would you have?
Same thing.
Yes. It might look a little different though, because you would have to raise T, so you would have an accidental if you were looking at it in music. But the pitch content, sol, T, re, and fa, are always going to be the same, major or minor. Good. So I thought that we would take just a second and sing through some of these. So what I'd like for you to do is to sing an ascending and then a descending tonic arpeggio. So do, mi, sol, or major for now. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. And then we'll do our dominant 7, we'll do sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol. And then we'll resolve to tonic again. So then do again. All right? Here's your starting pitch. That's do. I see so many bodies, not very much sound. Try again. There you go. All right, ready? 5, 6, 7. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Good. Very good. So a little bit of trouble finding sol. Some of us wanted to go up, some of us wanted to go down, some of us didn't really know where sol was, so let's do another one. How about... Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Good. All right. So what about if we did this in minor? So all we'll have to change is that we're going to hear me instead of me. Your dominant 7 doesn't change. It's exactly the same. So we're here. That's do. Let's hear minor without doing the scale first. Do, me, sol, me, do. Sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol. Do, me, sol, me, do. Very nice. All right. So since that's not been a problem, it sounds really, really nice. Let's see if we can use our starting pitch and sol, that's sol. So let's think about it for a minute, and we're going to sing sol, ti, re, fa, and then we're going to resolve. So here's sol. Think about it, yeah?
Sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol, do, re, sol, mi.
Good. Good, good, good. Let's do another one.
What do you mean?
We're in major, sorry. All right. That's sol. All right, let's go.
Sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol, do, mi, sol, mi, do.
Wonderful. So now you're hearing that you can use solfege, regardless that we didn't use any keys. I knew what the keys were up here, right? But you didn't need to know to hear what dominant 7 to tonic sounds like. That resolution you already know. So let's take it a step further. And let's discuss, now that we know the solfege content, let's think in a few keys for just a second. What if we were in the key of C major, right? We're in the key of C major, and we were looking to build a 5/7 chord. What would the pitch content be in this case? Somebody raise their hand, be nice and brief. Yeah.
What each pitch?
Yeah.
G, B, D, F.
Good, good. All right, that wasn't so hard. Let's try another one. What if we were in the key of F major? Yeah?
C, E, G, B flat.
Good, thanks. Yeah, B flat. Good, good, good. All right. Trevor. One of the few names I know in here. What if we were in the key of A major? What would our 5/7 chord be?
E, G sharp.
Okay.
E, G sharp, B, E.
Good, 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 good. Now I'm going to pick on you a little more. What if I were in the key of A minor? What would my dominant 7th chord be?
The same.
Exactly. Now, for just a second, make sure, let's see. That G sharp. What about that G sharp? You would have to raise it in the key of A minor, right?
G, but you'd make it G sharp.
There you go. Good, good, good. All right, and somebody who looks really shy, who's not looking at me. Who's my dear in the front row with the black shirt? Hi, hi. I'm Juli. All right, what about in the key of E flat major? What would our dominant 7 chord be? E flat major.
E. Oh, wait, no, B flat.
Good, good. There you go.
B flat.
Mm-hmm.
What's Q? A flat?
We're in the key of E flat.
E flat, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So if you're having trouble, you can use solfege to help you out. You can think through sol, ti, re, and fa in the key of E flat. If you're someone that uses scale degrees, we're looking for 5, 7, 2, and 4. There we go. So in the key of E flat, if we started on 5, what would we be on?
B flat,
Uh-huh.
B flat, F, A flat,
Can you say that for me again?
B flat,
Uh-huh.
B flat,
E flat would be do. We're looking for
D.
T. You have sol already. We're going to look for T in the key of E flat.
D.
D. There you go.
Okay, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
I just
I
didn't pronounce
misunderstood.
it well. Okay, B flat, D flat, F, A flat.
There you go. Good, 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 good.
E flat.
E flat. Yeah, you're right. So it is important when you're already saying what's going on. It is important if you didn't have a key signature already up on the board, you would have to write in each flat or each sharp, because otherwise we'd assume you meant natural. If the key signature was there, you could just sit there and stack all your notes. Okay? So it is important to be clear. All right. Now, are there any questions? about these 7 chords in major and minor. And we learned to build them using solfege. We understand it's sol, si, re, and fa. We know the terminology. It's all the same. It doesn't really matter at this point which one you call it. You're responsible for all 3. So let's take a look right now. And if we were in a major key, right, we know through theory that we've been studying, we've been hourly training ourselves. We know that we like to be in the tonic triad, right? That's where all music wants to go. When we talk about resolving things, we're trying to get to the tonic triad, which would be do, mi, and sol. Here, we've got sol, ti, re, and fa, and a bunch of those notes want to move. They don't want to be there. They want to move. And you did really well in resolving these when I had you sing. You wanted to go to the tonic triad, even when I started you on sol. So let's take a moment. The biggest one of these that wants to move, probably in your ear, is this one. Where's T want to go all the time? Because it's called the leading tone, right? It's leading to do. This one wants to move a lot. And your 7th chord, this member also really, 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 really wants to move. It has to move. That's the rule. You can't have a 7th chord that resolves any other way but, and I heard you had a lesson in this, so where does fa want to go to? Always. Has to go. What about re? Where's re want